Hey everybody, the greatest goblin that ever lived is here for another comic book review for the ending of September 2014. And got a lot to talk about, including the fact that I have gone back on something I said, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But before I get started, I want to let everybody know that if you haven't subscribed to my Blugoblin X channel as of yet, you might want to do that because thanks to my bro, my friend, my student, my brother from another mother, TheMtVernonKid, and to Midtown Comics, the Midtown Comics stash reviews are making a small little comeback now. It's up to Chris, it's up to the TheMtVernonKid how long this lasts, because he sent me a big stash of books from Midtown Comics, and as soon as I get those read and gather up my opinions on the stories that he sent me, I will do my best to find the time to review them on my Blugoblin X channel. So there's no set schedule on it, but just stay tuned to Blugoblin X for the upcoming return of the Midtown Comics stash reviews. So now that I've got that shameless plug out of the way, and once again, thank you Chris, thank you Midtown Comics for that. On to the books at hand. We got two indies, if you want to call them indies. Then we got DC and Marvel. We're going to start off with Dynamite. We're going to start off with Red Sonja number 12. Gail Simone, Walter Giovanni. This was good. This is the conclusion to the Six Artisans storyline, as I like to call it. You know, this dying emperor, this dying king has sent Sonja to go find 6 artisans who are each good, or each a master at their particular craft, like a master cook, a master of the beasts, a master dancer, an untouched swordsman, you know, wah, 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 wah. And we get to the end here. She finds the best dancer known in the land, and she gathers up all 6 of these masters and brings them to this emperor. And here's where I get my one real big nitpick about this issue. The end result of what goes on in the storyline was predictable. Of course, the guy, minor spoiler here, but of course the Emperor's not going to uphold his end of the bargain. He's going to keep his slaves, and he's going to continue to be a fucking asshole. I saw that coming a mile away, but does that mean the series, the storyline overall has been crippled by that? Not really. I still think it was well executed and well written. You know, Sonja at the end didn't really feel like the true hero of this story at the end. It was more or less the 6 artisans that she gathered who ended up being the bigger heroes than she was. Don't worry, she did play a big role in the conclusion of this storyline, but overall, I thought it was well handled, well written, and of course the artwork was fantastic. This was good. Like I said, predictable finish, but still well executed. The flowing was good. The pacing was good. Overall, I enjoyed it. I give it but because it was predictable, it does kind of hurt it, but it doesn't cripple it. I'm going to give it a 3.5. Alright, moving on to Broadsword Comics, and we got Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose, number 88. If I could sum up this issue in one sentence, it would be this: don't fuck with Raven Hex. This is a Raven Hex issue, and man is it good. You know, it's basically 99% Raven. I mean, Tarot only makes an appearance in like the first 2 pages of the book as she's reunited with her I don't want to say resurrected because she wasn't killed off, but she's reunited with her mother, who was mortally wounded by a magic spell and everything. So Raven Hex takes a little magical book talisman to the fairy realm to deal with Thornwick, the bastard who caused her family all this pain. But Raven went there with a plan. She went there with a strategy, and man, was it well executed. Of course, the gratuitous nudity is there, but boobies. As pleasant as that is, the storytelling in here, and at least in this particular issue, was well done. you know, I went in, I was reading this angle in this issue thinking, okay, this is going to happen, but then something else happens in here. I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like that better. You know, I was expecting Raven to give a fighting effort, but ultimately probably fail and retreat. No, that wasn't what happened. I dare not spoil it. You know, because here lately I realize I've been spoiling the ever-loving hell out of these issues to prove the fact that I don't buy this book simply to look at the pretty boobies. The stories are there. The writing, you know, hit or miss with some people, but the good writing is still there. The artwork is great, obviously, but if you really look at it and read the stories, sometimes I think you'd be pleasantly surprised by how good some of the stories can be. And this is a good example of that. I mean, was it perfect? Hell no. But I like that, you know, Raven went there with a plan, and we don't see, she doesn't describe what her plan is, and we don't see what the execution of this plan is until it actually happens, and I thought it was really well handled. Very well done. For the most part, it's just pretty boobies and nice writing, and what more can you ask for? I give it a 3.5 as well. Alright, we're moving on to DC. We're starting off DC with Batman 66, number 15. Caught in the Widow's Web. Look, with all due respect to Jeff Parker, I was really kind of let down by this. It's Batman and Robin taking on the Penguin and the Black Widow. And they win. Batman and Robin win the fight, of course. But don't get me wrong, every ounce of goodness that was in the Adam West TV show is there. You know, the death traps, you know, the whole narration is like, good Lord, will Batman and Robin make it out of here alive? You know, the only thing that's missing is the same bat time, same bat channel line. That's literally the only thing that's missing from here. But for me, I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it at all. I mean, Penguin, as smart of a character as he is, he looked like a damn fool in this book. And I know it's supposed to be the 1960s interpretation, and that TV series was never known for its incredible logic or anything like that. I get it, but I just didn't feel anything. I was expecting to have fun with this and get a good laugh out of it and just enjoy it for what it was, and I didn't even get that. I really didn't. You know, with a series like this, I'm expecting to have a good laugh, just lay back, relax, and enjoy the fun. I didn't have it. So I give it a 2. Alright, now, this may not have come out this week, but I need to talk about it. That and another book here. I caved in, and I got one of these. Let's talk about the Future's End Harley Quinn one-shot. Yeah, let's talk about it. My girlfriend got a copy of this issue. I wanted to read it because, you know what, I was curious as hell. I wanted to see it, but she hammered down. She heard me bitch and complain about how bad the Future's End main story is, and it is. And she said, no, if you want to read this, go up to the shelves and go buy one. So I did, and then I read it. Man, was this good. This was really good, and what a proper cover for this story. You know, I don't know how well the camera could pick up the cover here, but it looks like they're going to get married, and now they're at each other's throats. This is a literal representation of what goes on in this book. Yes, Harley does meet the Joker. Yes, the Joker does have his face back, and I like the fact that they drew in those little stitches. He's had his face re-sewn on, because remember, this takes place 5 years from now, or whatever. But this is a proper representation of a love-hate relationship. Sometimes they love each other, sometimes they hate each other. But for me, it's always been interpreted all throughout these years that in the Joker and Harley's relationship, the Joker was the dominant one and Harley always ended up looking like the bitch. In this issue, it's a complete reversal. In this issue, Joker looks more like the bitch. Because there are times where him and Harley are making out, and then there are times she's punching him, kicking him in the shin, she even kicks him in the balls. It's just, that's fucking awesome. This book was hilarious, and I loved it. And when I say a literal representation of the storyline with this cover, this is what happens. Love, hate, love, hate, love, hate. We get that shift over and over and over again in this story. I love the inside jokes in here. The fact that they made fun of Tom Hanks' Castaway. You know, Harley finds a tribe on this island that she's on. She thinks the island's inhabited or whatever, and they find this tribe, and instead of, you know, going after her for being different, they worship her and everything like that. This was hilarious. This was fun. This was great. I'm glad I bought this. This was fun, and I enjoyed every bit of it. This was good. I give it a 4. Moving on to HeMan and the Masters of the Universe, number 17. Well, I gotta say, after reading issue 16 with Triclops and that monstrous cliffhanger at the end of the book, I go here and I'm feeling a little disappointed, because all this issue basically was the origin story of the Sword of Protection, aka She-Ra's sword. And there's things in here that happen and I'm like, really? You're gonna go there? I dare not spoil anything in here, but when it comes to He-Man, I'm like, oh no, you're gonna make the finish of this storyline predictable. You're gonna make it predictable. Don't do that with a series as good as this has been. Oh no, don't make it a predictable finish. However, with that being said, I was really disappointed by this particular issue. But that doesn't mean it was a horrible issue. It just felt like a huge step down from issue 16. You know, for a while this felt like a series. It's like each time they popped out an issue, it's like, how can we top that? Then how can we top that? How can we top that? It's like they didn't really put forth any effort to top what we saw in issue 16. It's like, whoa, like that. But that, like I said, doesn't mean it was bad. It's just, I just thought they could have done better than this. I'm gonna be extra nice to it and give it a 3. Now on to the other one of these that I picked up. The Future's End Red Lanterns one-shot. Oh my god. I think this could actually be my pick of the week, folks. I really do. Wow, where do I start? The fact that Guy Gardner is a Blue Lantern in this book, and there's so many twists involved in here with other characters that we have known from this series, like Bleeze and like Rancor and everything. Oh man, if I could sum this book up in a statement, this to me looked like what could possibly be the ultimate death of the Red Lantern Corps. But wow, was it well written, well executed. The artwork was amazing. This was good. It's like, what kind of shit is gonna happen that's gonna lead up to shit like this happening? This issue, this one-shot, even though I'm not reading Future's End's main story, this was incredible. And once again, proving the fact that Red Lanterns is a criminally underrated series. This was fantastic. Was it perfect? No. But damn it, was it fucking awesome. I actually read this book like 3 fucking times before I put it in the bag. This was great. 4.5. But then again, that's just my opinion. We're ending DC off with Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman number 2. Now, for those of you who were shocked about what I said about the first issue with Gail Simone writing it, and I said that I was kind of disappointed with it. Yes, Gail Simone finally wrote a book that disappointed me, because the dialogue seemed really dated. It seemingly may have taken place in an alternate dimension rather than the prior DC universe that happened before the New 52. Plus, the second story that was written by somebody else turned out to be a little bit better than the first story that was written by Gail Simone. aka one of my current favorite writers, possibly one of my favorite writers of all time. And then I get to issue 2. This to me was much better than issue 1 was. The first story involves Diana making media appearances, but in the first story something's going wrong with Diana's powers. Let's just be frank, she's losing her powers. At one point she's lost her powers. She's lost her strength. She's lost her agility. She's even losing her beauty. All the gifts that the gods gave her are slipping away. But I did like the way the first story was resolved with Dr. Psycho and everything, but it kind of felt a little hot-shotted. But you have to understand, you know, the first story was, the main gist of the story was all about faith. And I was like, okay, I'll go with that, and I liked it. The second story was another retelling of how Diana became Wonder Woman. You know, we all know the scenario. It's like Themyscira needs an ambassador to the rest of the world, and only the best will fight. We all know what happens. But it's another retelling of how it came to be, and you know what? I actually liked it. I thought it was well told and well structured. You know, it is what it is. I tried the main Wonder Woman series for a while, then I just got out of it, and I'm giving Wonder Woman another try with this because, you know, just call me crazy, but I would like to give Diana a try with this particular series because who knows, it could go somewhere. And this issue was good. It was better than the first issue was, even though it was written by Gale. This was a good issue, and I think I'm going to stick with it. I want to give it at least 5 issues before I decide whether or not to go ahead and put it on my pull list. This was good. I give it a 3.5. Moving on to Marvel, we're starting off with The Amazing Spider-Man number 1.5, the conclusion to Learning to Crawl. Now, don't start throwing garbage at me. Don't start booming me yet. Wait a minute. Don't start hating me. Don't start wishing death upon me or anything. Wait. Dan Slott. Good job. This is how you write Spider-Man. Everybody, pick your jaws up off the floor, pick up your eyes and put them back in your sockets. I'm saying it. Dan Slott did a good job with this issue. Hell, with this entire storyline. In here, not only do we get the conclusion of what Peter does with his supposed first true nemesis of Clash, but this, to me, at the very end of the book, felt like, wow, is this supposedly the origin of how he developed the ability to give quips during a fight? Is this the origin of the quips? Because that's what it felt like at the end of the issue. But it was still good. That Spider-Man magic of yesterday and what the Spider-Man magic could be today is all here. And it was well done. But like I always say, is it perfect? No. But the writing was great. The old school style of artwork, the Ditko style was good. I loved it. This was great. For what it was, I enjoyed the hell out of this miniseries. It's just, I wish Dan would write Amazing Spider-Man like he wrote this. Because this right here is proof that Dan can still do it. I just wish he would. But for this, Learning to Crawl, Dan, good job. I'll be nice. I'll give the finale a 4. Moving on to Amazing X-Men number 11. This is the next part of World War Wendigo. Not much to say about this one. I mean, it's it's more the same stuff. You know, Wolverine is now a Wendigo because he was marked by a Wendigo, and when you get bit, scratched, or marked by a Wendigo, you become one. We know that. But in here, I even tweeted about this right after reading it. What in the blue hell is wrong with Aurora? For all you Alpha Flight fans out there, and I was once one of you, North Star and Aurora back together, yay! But, and I'm going to use this word, get ready, you have been warned, Aurora is a fucking miserable cunt in this issue. Just the unbelievable shit she says in this book just disgusted me. I'm like, you're supposed to be a fucking hero, and there's some shit that she says in here, and I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say shit like this? It's like, are you that miserably jealous that he had developed his own life and got himself somebody else to spend time with? My God, how pathetic. And then we get to but the rest of the book was all right with the father-daughter reunion that North Star helped, and then that whoa kind of cliffhanger at the end. Nice. But Aurora's unbelievable behavior really hurts this issue. And I blame the writers. And I blame them really bad. Why would you write her saying this shit? Give it a 3. At best, a 3. Moving on to Edge of SpiderVerse, number 3. Dustin Weaver does both the writing and the artwork. This is based on Aaron Aiken, the Spider-Man. Another alternate Spider-Man, in which we're seeing a Spider-Man that nobody knows about, and we're given his backstory, how he became the Spider-Man, who his first adversary was, and who his current adversary is. And it kept my attention. It didn't lose me anywhere. I went through it just fine. It was really, really well written. Dustin Weaver is, although I have to admit, Dustin Weaver is a better artist than he is a writer. But that's not saying that he's a bad writer. The writing in here was just fine. It's just the artwork was better, in my honest opinion. If there's one thing I'd have to nitpick about, is that the reveal of the main antagonist of this storyline was a bit predictable. You know, sometimes predictability, while sometimes it's either good or bad depending on how it's written, sometimes it can still hurt the book a little bit. And yeah, I kind of saw who it was. I kind of saw it coming. But we get to the last page. Oh boy. Ooh, I ain't gonna spoil the last page. Holy fucking shit. This was actually pretty good. Who knew Dustin Weaver could write such a good The Spider-Man story? Much less draw it really good. This was good. A bit predictable, but good. 3.5. Moving on to Guardians of the Galaxy number 19. Brian Michael Bendis, Ed McGuinness. Bendis does a fucking amazing job on the writing. Ed McGuinness' artwork is kind of hit or miss with me. I mean, we all know Ed McGuinness is obsessed with big, bulging muscle, steroid-induced freaks. Me big and muscular. We get that. I mean, Drax looks like the freaking Hulk. Hell, Thanos looks like the fucking Hulk. I mean, hell, there are a couple of times I thought, Quill looked as beefy as the fucking Hulk. I mean, big, beefy muscles, big and strong and all that shit. Like I said, Ed McGuinness' artwork is hit or miss with me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And here it was kind of 50-50. I kind of liked how he drew Gamora, though. It was kind of nice. But something happened in here that I didn't expect to see happening. Star-Lord, Nova, and Drax fighting alongside Thanos. But for what reason, I'm not going to spoil that. They're still bickering over the Cosmic Cube. duh. That is a given. But what they learn about what happens in what goes on in the Cancerverse concerning death, yeesh. But there is some humor in here as well, and I especially love the gag that between Drax and Thanos. It's like, do you die? When you die, does it hurt? Thanos was like, yeah. Pew! Kills him. He's like, yeah, that felt good. But in the Cancerverse, when you die, you just pop right back up. But you feel all the pain that you would feel from dying. Because how even Star-Lord dies in the Cancerverse, but pops right back up. You can't really die in the Cancerverse. And that was probably my favorite part of the book, when Drax goes, when you die, does it hurt? Yeah. So he blasts him point blank right in the face with the Cosmic Cube and kills him, just for Thanos to come back. But the reason why they're fighting alongside each other instead of against each other, I'm not going to ruin that. And neither will I ruin the cliffhanger. Oh boy. This was good. I still don't like the fact that they still haven't explained yet why Nova hasn't come back. They still haven't told us what happened to Richard Rider. Maybe they are intending to say, find out what happens in this storyline, instead of saying find out what happens in this issue. I guess that was their intent. But for what this was, I enjoyed it. The artwork was still 50-50 for me, but overall I liked it. I give it a 3.5. We're ending this review with New Warriors number 10. Really, Marvel? Really? You're ending this series here very shortly. I believe issue 12 or issue 13, one of the, either 12 or 13, I forget right now, but you're ending this series. Really? Really? Oh, that's okay. We here at Marvel need to make sacrifices, so we're going to cancel this series because God knows we're not selling enough Avengers fucking titles. See, we got Avengers, New Avengers, Young Avengers, Secret Avengers, Uncanny Avengers. Well, let's see. What other kind of Secret Avengers? Yeah, see. Mighty Avengers. Let's try the Superior Avengers, the Ultimate Avengers. Because God knows we don't sell enough Avengers crap, and we don't sell enough Wolverine crap, or we don't sell enough Deadpool or Spider-Man crap. So we got to cut our losses. We got to cancel a few titles, and this is going to be one of them. Good Christ. This series overall, I think, is really underrated. Now, is it the best series in the world? No, but I think it's wildly entertaining, and I've been enjoying it. And this issue was no exception. It's the Warriors against the High Evolutionary, who still believes he's trying to save humanity by ridding humanity of all these superpowered beings and everything like that. And New Warriors, get your war on! Oh my God. Speedball actually takes credit for that line in this issue. Yeah, he does. And the fight's going on pretty good. Some really good use of powers in here from all these characters, especially Hai-Chi. I like this guy. I like Sun Girl, but my two favorite characters are still Scarlet Spider and Hummingbird. I really love Hummingbird. However, there is a casualty in this issue, and I'm not going to spoil who it was, but I was just like, oh, God. But then that leads us to whoa kind of cliffhanger that I thought this was really well done. Like I said, the last issue was Kane and Justice fighting a giant teddy bear, and here we are with them fighting the High Evolutionary. The shit's getting serious again, and I really enjoyed this issue. It's just a damn shame that Marvel just doesn't see the goodness of this issue because they're not selling more Avengers titles that they can sit there and jack off on. I mean, it is what it is. I loved this issue. It wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it. I was entertained. The writing was good. The pacing was good. The artwork was good. Everything in here was just really, honestly good. And I give it a 3.5 as well. Alright. There's my review, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit long, but I had a lot of stuff to say. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Blugoblin01. Don't forget Blugoblin X and the upcoming return of the Midtown Comics Stash. Don't know when it's coming, but stay tuned for it. Don't forget Arkham Asylum Studio. Once again, I have to say there's no set schedule for that channel either, but when we do have something to do, Trust me, you'll see it. Follow me on Twitter at Blugoblin01, or you can follow me on Tumblr, blugoblin.tumblr.com. Don't forget my bro, my friend, my bro, TheMtVernonKid, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hex. Don't forget them. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.